Dear friends, I welcome you all in part 4B of the topic manufacture of heavy chemicals. This topic is for BSc 3 students. In this part, we are going to study actual procedure or process of the manufacture of ammonia by Haber's process. In previous videos, we have seen that what are the main chemical reactions involved in the manufacture of ammonia, and the second point, physicochemical principles involved in the manufacture of ammonia. So out of those, here the third point is actually in a chemical industries, how ammonia is manufactured by Haber's process, that we are going to see here. See, this is the industry, chemical industry in which ammonia is manufactured. If you visit to the chemical industry or ammonia industry, then you will see such type of compartments in those industries, isn't it? So here, actually what will happen, here N2 and H2 are taken in 1:3 proportion. Means nitrogen is taken 1 proportion and hydrogen is taken 3 proportion, isn't it? So 1:3 proportion, the nitrogen and hydrogen reactants are taken and they are passed into the compressor. This is the compressor. Here, this is the opening. The gases will come into this compressor, and here is also one of the window or a gate. Here, when the reactant gases are introduced into this compressor, these gases are compressed with the help of this compressor to about 200 to 1000 atmospheric pressure. So due to this compression or high pressure applied on the reactants, these reactants become more active or reactive. They acquire some energy. Okay. Then after compressing these N2 and H2 gases, these gases are fed to the what is called as converter. This is the converter. Converter means it converts reactant into products. That's why it is called as converter. This converter is a steel cylinder. All are steel cylinders actually. And here there is a heating coil. This heating coil, electric coil, is heated up to 500 to 550 degrees Celsius. And around this heating coil, there is a catalyst, that is Fe. And in this catalyst, the molybdenum powder is also mixed. Here Fe acts as a catalyst, while as molybdenum acts as a promoter or catalyst of catalyst. So in this converter, at the central part, there is an electric coil which is heated up to 500 to 550 degrees centigrade. And around this heating coil, the catalyst Fe along with the promoter molybdenum is taken in powdered form. Okay. Now, after compressing these reactant gases, these reactant gases are fed to this converter. Here, these reactant gases get heated up to 500 to 550 degrees Celsius. That's why again they get activated. They get kinetic energy. They become more active. Okay. And further, they are brought into the contact of catalyst. That's how when the reactant come in contact with catalyst, you have already seen that the catalyst, the role of catalyst is to make reaction between the reactants. So when these N2 and H2 gases come in contact with the catalyst, when they get adsorbed on the catalyst, they get further activated, they get more energetic, and that's why these highly energetic molecules become unstable. That's why in order to become stable, what happens? These molecules combine with each other. N2 and H2, these reactants combine with each other. That's why they get converted into NH3 product. Therefore, this chamber is called as converter. Why this is named as converter? Because here the reactants get converted into ammonia product. Okay. Now here, not all the N2 and H2 reactants get converted into NH3. Only few N2 and few H2 get converted into NH3. For example, only 8%. Suppose if you have taken 100 N2 and 100 H2 molecules, reactants, then out of these 100 N2 and H2 reactants, only 8% of reactants gets converted into ammonia. So here the unreacted N2, unreacted H2, and the formed NH3 are further fed to the what is called as the condensing coil. This is the condenser. This is a coil, and this is the freezing mixture, and it has a temperature. This coil or condenser has a temperature of -10 to -20 degrees Celsius. So when these unreacted N2, unreacted H2, and the formed NH3 pass through this condenser, which has a temperature of -10 to 20 degrees Celsius, then what happens? Only the NH3 gases, these are gases, the NH3 gases get converted into liquid NH3. But at this temperature, that is -10 to -20, the N2 and H2 gases will not get converted into liquid. So in this way, the NH3 gas is converted into liquid. So the liquid NH3 is received into the receiver. It is separated from those reactants. Then here there is a circulating pump. So whatever the N2 and H2 are remaining unreacted, those N2 and H2 gases are passed into this circulating pump. Then this circulating pump will give some energy, or it has some facility so that it will transfer these N2 and H2 gases through this pipe into the what is called as compressor. Circulating pump takes away these N2 and H2 gases, and then it circulates into what is called as compressor. Again, these unreacted N2 and H2 are brought in compressor along with freshly incoming N2 and H2 gases. Here N2 and H2 gases are freshly incoming. Okay. And here some of the unreacted N2 and H2 are there, and they are circulated here, and they are also fed to the compressor. Now again, this compressor compresses these unreacted N2 and H2 as well as these fresh incoming N2 and H2 to at about 200 to 1000 degrees Celsius, 1000 atmospheric pressure. It makes these reactants more active, and then these activated or compressed or pressurized N2 and H2 molecules are further fed to the converter. Again, these reactants come in contact with the catalyst. Again, they are heated and they are activated, and again they are converted into N2 ammonia. So here again there are unreacted N2 and H2 molecules along with the newly formed ammonia. 8% ammonia is formed per each cycle. So 8% ammonia and remaining 92% N2 and H2 unreacted molecules are again brought into the condenser, condensing coil. Again here the NS3 gas gets converted into liquid NS3 and it is separated into the receiver, while as the unreacted N2 and H2 are transferred into the circulating pump, and this circulating pump circulates these gases and it sends these gases again to the compressor. So friends, in this way the N2 and H2 gases are compressed, heated, brought into the contact of the catalyst. They are again condensed, and here ammonia is separated, while as the unreacted reactants are further circulated into the compressor. So in this way the process repeats several times. Okay, and in each cycle we get 8% ammonia. Okay, in each cycle we get 8% ammonia from N2 and H2 gases. Okay, so this is the actual manufacturing process of ammonia by Haber's. Okay, Haber's method. So here what you have to remember is the reactants are taken into 1:3 proportion. Here 1 is nitrogen and 3 is hydrogen. Okay, and in the compressor the pressure is applied 200 to 1000 atmospheric pressure. Okay, and in the converter the catalyst is heated up to 500 to 550 degrees Celsius. Then for each cycle 8% ammonia is formed, isn't it? Remaining reactants, okay, they remain as a unreacted reactants. So in this way we manufacture ammonia by N2 and H2. Here actually N2 and H2 reactants are prepared in this way. For example, this is the first step which is not shown here. Actually the preparation of N2 and H2 are not shown here. Directly we have taken N2 and H2 from other compartment which is not shown here. In other compartment which is attached to this one, there we prepare N2 and H2 reactants and then we feed this reactant to this compressor. Okay, but let us see how N2 and H2 reactants are prepared and purified. For example, in order to prepare NS3 we require N2 and H2 gases, okay, as an reactants. So here these reactants are obtained by mixing water gas. Water gas means CO and H2. Then producer gas. Producer gas means CO and N2. Say for objective questions, remember what is meant by water gas. Water gas has a formula CO plus H2. When carbon monoxide and hydrogen, these both gases are mixed, then that is called as water gas. And when carbon monoxide and nitrogen are mixed, then that mixture is called as producer gas. Always remember for MCQ. Okay, and then steam means water. Okay, so in order to prepare N2 and H2 reactants we require water gas, producer gas, as well as steam. Okay, so what happens? These water gas, producer gas, and steam are passed over Fe2O3 catalyst, which is heated about 550 degrees Celsius. Then what happens? This CO, for example, here is a CO, carbon monoxide, and here is also CO. So this CO reacts with moisture. Which one? This is moisture, means water. Okay, though this CO from water gas, this CO from producer gas reacts with moisture, that is water, and it produces CO2 and H2. We want H2. H2 is our reactant. Okay, now here what happens? CO2 is an impurity. Impurity means it is unwanted for us. We just want only H2 gas and N2 gas as a reactant. That's why this is impurity for us. Also, there are some unreacted CO as well as moisture. That's why here you have to remove CO, moisture, as well as this CO2 which is produced in this gas. These are actually impurities. Okay, and we want only H2 gas. Okay, so here what will happen? Their CO2 is removed by dissolving in water. When water is passed, here CO2 gets removed. Then unreacted CO is removed by combining with NaOH. When NaOH is mixed with CO, then in the form of sodium formate, this CO is also removed. So CO2 is removed, CO is removed, and then this mixture is passed over a limestone. Actually, in this figure, we have not shown all these things, but there is one compartment in which limestone is filled. So this mixture is passed through limestone. When this mixture comes in contact with limestone, then what happens? These limestone absorb moisture from this reactant gases. So in this way, the moisture is removed, CO is removed, and CO2 is also removed. Now what are remaining? Only H2 is remaining, and there is N2 also, isn't it? So N2 is there, and already here H2 is there, but we want 1:3 proportion H2. That's why we are going to prepare here new H2. So already this H2 plus formed a new H2 and this N2. Now the proportion becomes 1:3. Okay, so this 1:3 proportion is taken here and it is fed to this compressor, and as I already explained you, the reaction takes place or the procedure takes place, and here for each cycle or from each cycle we form 8% NS3. Okay, this is the manufacturing process which is manufactured by Haber's process. Okay, so what are the merits of this process? What are positive points, positive outcomes of this process? Here, see, this is a cheap and economical. This process is not costly. Okay, that's why in a minimum amount we can prepare, we can obtain N2 and H2 gases, and we can prepare NS3 product. Okay, and here pure NS3 is obtained. Here whatever the NS3 we are getting from this process is a highly pure, no impurities mixed in this product. Okay, and at each cycle we get 8% NS3. Hence we have to repeat the cycle over and over. We have to repeat the reactants. We have to bring the reactants over and over in contact with the catalyst. Then only then we will get maximum NS3. Okay, so this is the manufacturing process of ammonia by Haber's technique or method. So in next part, that is part 5, we will discuss on the manufacture of nitric acid, HNO3. Again, we will discuss here what are the main chemical reactions involved in the manufacture of nitric acid, what are the physicochemical principles, and the actual manufacturing process. Okay, so let us meet in part 5. Okay, thank you.